Before I went carnivore, I was pretty well experienced in the different ways of doing a traditional ketogenic diet. I consider carnivore to be a different kind of diet than a ketogenic diet, even though it has a lot in common. And I have nothing really against traditional keto diets. It's just that keto has gotten so corrupted by processed food companies that, combined with the total lack of regulation about what can be called a keto friendly product, the marketplace is now filled with trashy keto filler foods, many of which aren't keto at all. And at the end of the day, they will help trigger your sweet cravings and things. Now, my wife and I were having a good laugh at some keto branded candy at Costco the other day that each serving had like 5 grams of sugar in it, despite the big old keto label on the package. Just as one example. And heck, for another, one of the major bread companies markets as keto a bread that has 6 grams of net carbs per slice. Look, if you're keto, you're typically aiming for about 20 grams of net carbs per day. So to make a sandwich with that bread would eat up about 60% of your carbohydrate allotment for the whole day. And that's not saying nothing about it probably knocking you out of ketosis, because that's a lot of carbs in one sitting. That says nothing also of the wheat and other grains that went to make that stuff. It's almost as if no one understands what keto is unless you've actually done the diet, and done it properly. And that brings me to this rather painful article. Of all places, well, we shouldn't be surprised, mainstream outlet here, health.com recently published an anti-keto article that is so painfully stupid that the author and the editors of the website should be fired and replaced with people who understand health and diets. Even if the diets that they write about are ones they don't like, they should at least understand them enough to write about them competently so that when they attack, I don't know, say keto or carnivore, they actually know what they're talking about. They actually present the diets in an accurate way, in a way that isn't just a bunch of misinformation. With that said, headline from health.com: 7 side effects of going keto. The low carb, high fat plan promises quick weight loss, but health experts warn about these side effects and complications. So this was published about a week ago, and they really don't know what they're talking about here. Let me illustrate for you how bad this is. This is probably one of the dumbest anti-keto articles I've ever seen in my life. Quote, the ketogenic diet, also known as the keto diet or just keto, is a big thing in weight loss plans, touted by celebrities like Halle Berry, Kourtney Kardashian, and Jenna Jameson. The diet involves cutting way back on carbohydrates to 50 grams a day or less to help the body achieve a state of ketosis, in which it has to burn fat rather than sugar for energy. Doctors say that the keto diet can be helpful in treating epilepsy. They don't say it is true, it does. But it's unclear exactly why, but something about a ketogenic state seems to reduce the frequency of seizures. A July 2021 review published in Frontiers in Nutrition confirmed the benefits ketogenic diets can have in reducing seizure frequency in individuals with drug-resistant epilepsy. And it's nice to have some science on our side, mainstream science on our side, and on this score. They also say that in addition, it can help in reducing weight. However, the review also notes that without more data on long-term safety, it appears that the risks associated with this diet may outweigh the benefits. End quote. Now, did any of you watching this go keto or carnivore because of a mainstream celebrity endorsing it? Probably not. But did you catch what they got wrong there? A ketogenic diet isn't aiming for 50 grams of carbs a day. It's typically aiming for about 20 or less net carbs per day. Yes, I'm aware some people can achieve a state of ketosis at higher levels of carbohydrates, but the advice given is always at least start at 20 net carbs a day. Some people suggest going lower than that or doing 20 total carbs, not taking out that fiber. And I don't know about you, but if I was an epileptic, I'd be willing to take the reported quote unquote risks associated with a ketogenic or carnivore diet if that meant I didn't have to deal with seizures anymore. Sounds like an extremely unpleasant thing to have to deal with on a daily basis. But that's not all the article does. That is just painfully stupid. Quote, some athletes swear by the ketogenic diet, not just for weight loss, but for improved performance in their sport as well. But Dr. Edward Weiss, PhD, Associate Professor of Nutrition and Dietetics at St. Louis University, doesn't buy it. I hear cyclists say all the time that they're faster and better now that they're on the keto diet. And my first question is, well, how much weight did you lose? Said Weiss. In a 2018 study in the Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness, Weiss and his colleagues found that participants performed worse on the high-intensity cycling and running tasks after 4 days on a ketogenic diet compared to those who'd spent 4 days on a high-carb diet. Oh, really? Shocker. Weiss says that the body is in a more acidic state when it's in ketosis, which means limits its ability to perform at peak levels. Just losing a few pounds is enough to give you a huge advantage on the bike. But I'm very concerned that people are attributing the benefits of weight loss to something specific in the ketogenic diet, continued Weiss. The dumb hurts. In reality, the benefits of weight loss could be at least partially canceled out by reductions in performance. End quote. Sorry for the longer quote, but that one needed context. The stupidity here hurts so much that I needed some aspirin after reading that the first time. If you didn't catch what was stupid, the doctor being quoted there studied the impacts of a ketogenic diet on athletic performance by testing athletes who had been on the diet for only 4 days. Of course they had fatigue. Do you know what you're going through on day 4 of a keto diet, especially that first time you do it? Your body's not used to it yet. Do you know what you're going through? Or if you're doing carnivore or what other variation of severe carb restriction or elimination that puts you in a state of nutritional ketosis, you are in full keto flu on day 4. That's what you're experiencing. I was introduced to a smart approach to keto for athletes through a Facebook group called Keto Gains. If you're not carnivore and you're looking at traditional keto, I recommend that group for you. It's run by some of the same people who make Element brand electrolytes. The proprietors have been keto now for probably 15 years and run a boot camp that is hardcore athletic, to put it mildly. They coach like retired women to doing 400-pound deadlifts. It's crazy stuff that I've seen. One of the founders has a build like a bodybuilder. And I can tell you from experience that keto and carnivore have severely boosted my personal athletic performance in the gym, as long as my electrolyte game is on point. But a study that checked athletes after being on keto for 4 days says otherwise. They didn't even note that the athletes were experiencing keto flu, at least not in that article quoting it, despite focusing on the keto flu at the beginning of the article. Like I keep saying, the stupid here really hurts, but it gets worse. They actually tell people that ketosis is dangerous for people with diabetes. They say that. That would be news to all the keto doctors who reverse their patients' diabetes with keto. Let me know in the comments if you were diagnosed formerly with diabetes and you fixed it with a ketogenic diet. My wife had gestational diabetes, and she fixed it with a ketogenic diet. The article blames ketoacidosis for this, which is just beyond stupid, but it gets even worse. And this will be the last quote from that article, I promise. Quote, another consequence of keto-related weight changes can be a loss of muscle mass, said Kaiser, especially if you're eating too much fat than protein. You'll lose weight, but it might actually be a lot of muscle, says Kaiser, because muscle burns more calories than fat that will affect your metabolism. End quote. Most people who do keto aren't consuming 90% of their calories from fat. They don't lose that much muscle. There is no reason to stop a diet that puts you in ketosis. No reason whatsoever. Carnivore is infinitely sustainable, and so is keto, especially with all the weird keto substitute foods out there that if you really are having a craving that a specific processed junk food from the standard American diet would fix, and you miss it badly, there's now a keto option out there for you. Look, I don't recommend it. I don't endorse it. All those things are why I went carnivore, but if you want to do that, you can. What really gets me with this is that mainstream advice is very contradictory. On the one hand, keto has clearly gone mainstream, given how much corporate America has decided to take advantage of it to make billions of dollars every year, while on the other hand, opinion-making media outlets that are often owned by the same companies still attack the diet with misinformation. And for those of you watching this, like me, who are carnivores, it's even worse for us because there are very, very, very few highly profitable, shelf-stable products that corporate America can sell to us. Chomp's Meat Sticks, I don't think is even a corporate product. I think that's an independent company. These companies believe that saturated fat leads to heart disease, despite there being really no evidence for that. That article even hits that point too. So like I said, I'm done quoting it. But I'm curious what you think about this. Is that as bad of misinformation as I made it out to be? The article should be posted in the comments section. Just look for the comment in the pinned that I pinned to the top of the comments section, please. When this channel gets a little bit bigger, I'll probably open a Patreon or something just so I can pay for an actual external website to put a lot of this stuff plus really critical information in a database for you. But I'm waiting until I get bigger. But for now, like this video, subscribe if you haven't. It really does help. I'm Anthony Stine, and thanks for watching today.